So, you've clicked on this video because you are trying to pre-order a Nintendo Switch 2, and you're wondering what's the best place to pre-order, what are the times that these places are going to have these systems available, how are the pre-orders going to work. You have a lot of questions, and you've come to the right video, because this video is the ultimate pre-order guide for the Nintendo Switch 2. And by the end of this video, you're going to end up like this knuckle right here. You see that smiley face? That's gonna be you, because you're going to end up with a Nintendo Switch 2 thanks to this video. But before we get into this, I have to ask to please backslash that subscribe button and like the video, as we are trying to hit 17,000 subscribers by the end of May, because we're going to New York City next month for the Switch 2 line, so we're gonna be filming every day, doing videos over there. It's gonna be an absolute blast, but you guys probably don't care, you just care about pre-ordering the system. So let me get into you guys the best strategy. We're gonna go over every time zone, every release, all that, and I'm gonna tell you suggestions of what you should and shouldn't do, but I am gonna go over all the places that will have it available on April 24th, because that is the confirmed date to have the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders after all the crazy delays. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, here's one that we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna talk about good old Walmart. Now, I'm telling you now, do not buy on Walmart's website. But for whatever reason, you just have to order on Walmart's website. I guess do it. I don't know why you would need to order on Walmart's website, but my experience of pre-ordering stuff on Walmart has been an absolute nightmare. I have had it to where it didn't say I was logged in when I was logged in, and by the time I logged out and logged back in, the item was already sold out. I really don't think Walmart systems are prepared for something like the Nintendo Switch 2, or really any gaming release that requires a lot of people wanting to pre-order whatever item, whether it's a system or game. Because my experience every single time with Walmart has always been really bad. I would honestly try to avoid Walmart, as you're gonna have a lot of other retailer options that is just the way better pick. But if you have to choose Walmart, you also will have the option to do a delivery, to where you are confirming that you are going to get your system by 9 a.m. on June 5th. And if for whatever reason you're getting Walmart for that reason, for the delivery 9 a.m., I am telling you now, and don't ask me how I know this, but I know this, you are not getting your system by 9 a.m. Walmart deliveries are all over the place. Trust me on this, do not rely on getting the system at 9 a.m. Really, I would stay away from Walmart. If you have to order on Walmart, make sure you are logged in. Maybe try buying something as a test on their website before jumping on to the big midnight queue, because that is when Walmart will be releasing the pre-orders. Midnight EST is when you can pre-order the Switch 2 on April 24th. Like I said, I would really try to stay away from them. If you listen to me, please listen to me on that. Don't do Walmart. Say it with me. I am not pre-ordering the system at Walmart. If you are, like I said, I would really try to buy something as a test. I don't know, order something, groceries or something. Make sure the card goes through, make sure everything goes through with the order before you rely on Walmart, especially if this is your first time using the Walmart website. But the Switch accessories will also be live with Walmart, which is the one thing I really don't like that Nintendo is doing with the Switch 2 pre-orders, is that the accessories, games, all that will be dropping at the same time as all the big pre-orders, which is the Switch 2 console. You're gonna have the Switch 2 console and the bundle that will go live at midnight at walmart.com. So if you're getting it at Walmart, good luck. Target. Now, they will also be having the system available at midnight on April 24th, EST, on the website. There's no in-store pre-orders. I wish that there was in-store pre-orders, but there is another place that will be doing in-store pre-orders, which is very exciting and a lot of opportunity to get the system, because online is absolutely crazy. I hate how everything is online with pre-orders nowadays, because with how bots are, it is just a mess. But Target will have the system available with the games and accessories. Now, I don't have the greatest experience of Target. I just really haven't pre-ordered stuff there because I haven't really had a reason to. But I will say one of the benefits that you get from pre-ordering with Target, as long as you have the red card, is you'll get an additional 5% off on the games, the system, the accessories, all of that. Which, with all the tariffs going on, the accessories going up, that 5% might be very beneficial and could play a big factor into getting this system. It's just something that you're gonna have to realize if you go through Target and Walmart, is there's no midnight releases, as these stores don't stay open anymore at midnight. So if you're doing it at Target, I believe most Targets around the world open up at 6 a.m. So you'll be picking up your system at 6. Actually, I don't know if they do in-store pre-orders like that anymore. I don't know if you'll be able to pick up your pre-order. It might be something that gets shipped, so you might not even go into a Target at all. So it might just be fully online, or maybe there's an option to do a pickup in Target, because I know Best Buy has that option and Target typically does stuff like that. Walmart's kind of outdated, so they're not going to have that option most likely. I think Target's definitely one to keep in mind if you don't care about having to wait extra long, and if you don't care about the midnight thing, about having the system on at hand if you can wait for later the day. I think Target would be a good decision to go with, because I think a lot of people are going to be focusing on Best Buy as the primary place to order this system. That brings us back to Best Buy. Best Buy's pre-orders at the time of this recording has not been announced when it will go live. There's a lot of speculation that it will be at midnight EST like the other retailers, but there's also been some speculation that it could be happening at 1 a.m. There's also been some speculation of this Best Buy Drops app that Best Buy has been pushing. I think this was something that they had coming out during COVID. So whenever there was like a big item that everyone was trying to pre-order, you could only get it through the Best Buy Drops application. I don't know too much about that. However, I will tell you that Best Buy will actually have at least most locations of Best Buy will be doing a midnight release. And when you're pre-ordering the Switch 2 through their website, you will have an option to do an in-store pickup, which midnight release is going to be absolutely awesome. Now, what my prediction is I think that Best Buy will have it as just a normal pre-order drop at first. And then if it sells out, all the extra restocks will go through the Best Buy Drops. And I'm expecting it to be at 12 a.m. EST, just like the other retailers. When I say other retailers, I mean Target and Walmart. To me, that would make the most sense. I don't think you have to worry anything about the Best Buy Drops till future restocks is what I'm guessing. The accessories are also going to be available for pre-order, which is something you have to remember when you're doing these websites right now, because your primary goal needs to be to pre-order the system most likely, but accessories should definitely be on the mind too, and we'll be going into detail why I say that later in the video. Now, our next one is going to be an exciting one and probably your best chance to get the system, in my opinion, at least in-store pre-order or just a guaranteed pre-order. I think this is your best company to go with, and I know people have a problem with this company, but I think this is your best option, and that is GameStop. GameStop will have pre-orders available at 11 a.m. on their website. And GameStop is also saying that it will be available at 11 a.m. in store. But here's the thing with that. I would probably call GameStop the day before and maybe speak to a manager rather than an employee about this, because most GameStops, at least around my city, open at 12. I think really a majority of GameStops have moved from 12, especially with it being Thursday. I don't think they're going to open up at 11. So I really think when GameStop posted that, they weren't thinking about that, because probably a lot of the bigger location ones will open at 11. But I think there's a majority of smaller GameStops around that will be opening at 12. But call and confirm, because this could be something where, you know, it's a special day, so they're going to open up early because of pre-orders. That's why I say call the day before. And something else that you should point out with the GameStop pre-orders is you could look at GameStop as kind of a second chance to pre-order the system if Best Buy, Target, and for whatever reason you decided to attempt Walmart. You can look at GameStop as the second attempt, because their pre-orders will be opening up at 11 a.m. on their website, including the store. A lot of people don't realize it, but GameStop's inventory for in-store pre-orders and online pre-orders are a totally different thing. I have been able to secure so many pre-orders from in-store locations at GameStop of stuff that was already sold out online with ease. And I tell people GameStop is really the best place for this type of stuff because of how they have specific inventory made for specific things. They have separate inventory for these in-store pre-orders, and it's going to be a very key point to be able to secure the games, the system, and accessories. I think another question that people are going to be asking is, what about Amazon? Will they be selling the system? And at least here in America, I don't think you're going to see anything Switch 2, at least that comes from Nintendo over there, as Nintendo hasn't been selling on there for over a year now. There's been a lot of rumors that it's due to the fact that Amazon customers have been able to get the system, games, whatever it is that they order a few days early, and Nintendo has reportedly not been happy with that. So that seems to be the reason why they're not selling it. But who knows, maybe accessories might go on there. But at this time, and the most likely answer I have for you is it's just not going to happen for a while. But I want to go back to GameStop for a second and tell you some of the things that you should be on the lookout for. Let's say a scenario that you go inside your GameStop and for whatever reason they have sold out of the in-store pre-orders. You should still check other GameStops around the area. As I said many times before, each store has a specific inventory that is dedicated to their store for in-store purchases. So GameStop is honestly going to be a very key point to being able to pre-order the system. This is how a lot of people was able to get the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X on launch day when there was so many issues of pre-ordering system, because all the pre-orders went towards online. So the bots were always winning. Which, speaking of bots, I would honestly refresh the page probably 5 minutes before wherever you're deciding to order this system. And I would constantly refresh that page up until midnight. So from 11:55 p.m. EST Wednesday night, I would be refreshing for 5 minutes straight. A lot of the times these things go live, quote unquote, accidentally, but I think it is a way to get rid of the bots, because the bots are programmed and ready for the midnight launch, that if someone drops it early, that kind of changes everything and messes up the scalpers' plans with their bots. Another thing that I want to talk about is the system might actually not be difficult to pre-order. Now, what we're saying is just rumored and speculation, but Nintendo had posted a tweet a long time ago, when I say a long time ago, about a week ago, that according to his sources, GameStop was going to be having over 100 Switch 2s on launch day. Which, if they're going to have over 100 Switch 2s at every GameStop, that's a pretty big launch to have, especially considering every GameStop. A lot of the times, a lot of these places don't get that many, especially the smaller GameStops. So if they are really getting over 100 at every GameStop, Nintendo is expecting to have a major launch here. And I expect these numbers to be at places like Best Buy, for example. And if this is true, pre-orders are probably not going to be a problem when it comes to in-store at the very least. The thing that I would really be focused on once you get the system is try to get whatever accessory or game that you are wanting pre-ordered the same day. And honestly, I wouldn't wait. I would do it right away, because it's being reported that the system's going to be easy to get, but the accessories and games are going to be extremely limited and very hard to find. And this might have something to do with the whole tariff situation and where the games are made and the accessories, because I believe it was reported that accessories and games are going to be made over in China. That might be one of the reasons why that there's going to be a very low stock of that over here. And I think that has to be a high priority when you're going on these other websites to pre-order. In my honest opinion, if I was to give you the best suggestion, I would try Best Buy on their website to pre-order the system. And if Best Buy doesn't work, I would go wait in line at a GameStop maybe an hour or two before. You might not have to wait that long outside depending the type of city that you live in, but if you're in a bigger city, you might need to wait outside a few more hours earlier, wait until they open to secure the Switch 2 pre-order and be ready to pre-order accessories and games on top of that. One of the nice things about GameStop is if you do in-store pre-order, you don't have to make the full payment right there. You can do like a down payment. You could look at it as a down payment, but I believe the consoles are $50 and the games and accessories should be $5 down. That would honestly be the best move if you don't want to spend all that crazy money at once, and you could put a little bit of money each week into paying off the system as we get closer to the release. Like I said, stay away from Walmart, and when it comes to Target, I really don't have much experience to tell you on how their website's going to work, but I do feel like Target is going to be a similar thing where their website's not really made for this type of traffic. So I feel like Target could have their website broken down, and that should be expected. That's why I'm saying probably refresh the page 5 minutes straight. And honestly, if it says sold out, I would keep refreshing for a while, at least for a solid 10 minutes straight after midnight, because a lot of the times people add it to their cart and not end up getting it. And that will probably be a really key strategy into ordering the system. And you know, I think a lot of people might try to avoid Walmart, in all honesty, due to all the issues that could happen there. Like, I remember when I tried to get the Tears of the Kingdom Pro Controller and Collector's Edition, I had so many issues, and by the time I fixed it, it was already sold out. It was a pain, but I think a lot of people could avoid Walmart due to that, especially since you're not going to be able to get your hands on the system at a midnight release. Walmart and Target are probably the two that people are going to not do much with, and those might be key locations to go to. Walmart, there is such issues, many issues that I've had with Walmart's website that I really can't recommend them. So at the end of the day, get your system pre-ordered, but also get your accessories and games pre-ordered before launch day, because I do think there is going to be major issues. I mean, we're already seeing it with the micro SD express cards. Those are selling out everywhere. Those are selling out. Imagine what the games and accessories are gonna look like, especially with how everything is right now. That's what you should be focused on, in my opinion. Guys, that is all I have for you today. Please let me know if this video helped you out. Were you able to end up like my knuckle right here with the smiley face? Or I didn't put a sad face, but did you end up like my right hand right here, which is, we're gonna imagine a sad face. At the end of the day, I don't think the system's gonna be difficult, especially maybe pre-orders could be an issue online 100% just because of how bots are. But when the system comes out, I think this is going to be easy to get. And if for whatever reason you can't get a pre-order by the time the system comes out, do not worry, because I think the system will be easy to pick up. Accessories and games are another story. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, check out the Discord server, check out the Instagram, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.